The true spiritual path is not an external one, but rather an inner journey. And it is the greatest voyage that we can take. And though others can point the way, though others can show us what direction to go, no one can truly take this trip for us. The journey will also be an extremely individual and personalized one. It isn't necessary that everyone follow the same path. There are many roads leading to the rediscovery of the true reality. God does not limit access to knowing it. So for example, let's say, you want to climb this mountain of God. If you approach the mountain from the north, you might see a way up, and, you might not see or notice that there are other ways up the mountain as well, if you went to the east or the south or the west. And so you go up this north path. But once you get to the top of the mountain and you look down, you can clearly see that there are many ways up this mountain of God. There are many ways to ascend. Some might have even been easier than the one you climbed, but because you only approached the mountain from one direction, you didn't see all the other paths. The I Ching states, in the world, there are many different roads, but the destination is the same. There is also an old Sufi proverb which says, there are as many paths to God as there are souls on earth. Now the spiritual path that we walk, are individual and varied because we all need different experiences. We each have different lessons to learn and things which we must work on or work through. So for example, some of us might be here to learn how to perhaps be more patient. Some of us might need to learn how to perhaps be more loving and compassionate. Others more forgiving. Some of us need to learn about working with things such as anger or how to be less judgmental. Therefore, certain things are going to happen on your path which didn't happen on Buddha's path or Jesus's path or Krishna's path. And a few things are going to happen on my path that definitely won't be happening on yours because, again, we all have different things that we need to learn and different things that we have already mastered. However, this doesn't mean that we should dismiss the ways that were shown to us by any of these enlightened beings or these wisdom figures, because the truth is, these great individuals have provided us with information about how it was that they arrived to the final goal. And it is always wise to definitely learn from someone who has already attained that which we seek. Otherwise, we fall into the category of the blind leading the blind. I mean, think about this, contemplate this. How can someone who's never attained enlightenment point us in the direction of how to get there? Or how can someone who's never attained God consciousness, someone who's never known God, how can they show us how to achieve it? So if the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path brought the Buddha to nirvana, if the path of love, mercy, and forgiveness brought Jesus to oneness with God, if the paths of yoga set forth by the Bhagavad Gita brought Arjuna to the realization of Krishna and his glory, or if the path of Islam brought Muhammad to knowing and understanding Allah, then are not all acceptable roads? They are. So whatever path calls you, stick with it and just keep walking, just keep persevering. But also recognize that the masters can only show the way. They can only give you advice. They can teach you. They can tell you how to possibly avoid certain pitfalls. They can definitely be a shining light to your path so that you don't stumble as much. And they can definitely help you overcome certain obstacles because they've gone the way already. They can teach you how to judge whether you're moving in the right direction, but that is it. They will not be able to walk the path for you, nor are they able to do any of the work for you. You must learn yourself. You must put in the time yourself. You must practice yourself. And what you learn, the knowledge you gain, must be applied into our lives. I know many wonderful people who can quote scriptures from the top of their heads, who can say exactly what book and what verse number these sayings that they come up with come from. And while that's all well and good, while I applaud them absolutely, for taking the time and the dedication to learn and memorize all this knowledge. The true question remains, though, has it entered their hearts? And is what they've learned and what they've memorized, is it being applied in their lives? For it is the application of the knowledge that we have which turns it into wisdom. So good luck on the path, and may each and every one of your days be filled with an abundance of love, happiness, and peace.